Show Hillary Clinton should take notice because Senator Bernie Sanders is on a roll. New polling out of New Hampshire is looking good for Sanders. A poll from Suffolk University shows Hillary Clinton at 41%. Bernie Sanders has moved up to 31%. 15% of New Hampshire Democrats are still undecided. If Hillary Clinton's campaign isn't worried about those numbers, well, they should be. Sanders within 10 points of Clinton with 15% still undecided and a whole lot of time left. Hillary Clinton's refusal to take a position on trade may be hurting her in the polls. Senator Sanders hasn't been shy about calling Clinton out on trade.
I think it's obvious. You're for it or you're against it. I very strongly am opposed to fast track and the TPP. What is Secretary Clinton's position?
Americans seem to be in step with Sanders on trade. A new online survey from NBC News shows 66% of Americans would rather protect American jobs than have access to cheap foreign goods. 71% of Republicans, 66% of Democrats, and 60% of college grads agree. Americans want answers from Clinton on trade. She has said a lot, but it just hasn't seemed too definitive. Now, the Democratic frontrunner, I think, should be able to step forward and not sidestep such an important issue, especially after today's developments and where this is all going. For more, let me bring in Harold Cook, political analyst, and also Mercedes Schlapp, Republican spokesperson for former President George W. Bush. Great to have both of you with us. Thanks for staying tonight. I don't mean to overstate this, Harold, but it seems like the issue of trade has given Bernie Sanders a platform to deliver straight talk to get some attention. What do you make of that?
I agree with that, but if it weren't trade, it'd be something else, and here's why. I've said from the start that if Secretary Clinton treated this nominating process like a coronation, she'd end up in trouble. But it's just it's a fact of life. It's just a natural status somehow that absolutely secure candidates say very little. And opposed candidates get more specific, and threatened candidates very specifically move toward their base. So I think Bernie Sanders being in this race and being treated seriously by voters in the early states, even if you're a Clinton partisan, I think it's very, very good for the process and encourages her to show some of that fire in her belly, encourages her to get much more specific on issues that are important to Democrats who are going to be voting in this primary process. Yeah. And that's, I think, a very good thing. And if she's the nominee, and I think she probably eventually will be, I think it better prepares her for the November election when it counts.
So you're willing to say that she's probably going to be the nominee? I mean, we're a long way away, and this move by Bernie Sanders is just more than interesting. Mercedes, why is Sanders moving forward?
Well, I think for Senator Bernie Sanders, he has nothing to lose. And really, he's filling that space, that Elizabeth Warren space. Since she didn't run, someone had to go in there and do it. And quite frankly, he delivers a very strong populism message that is resonating with a lot of these grassroots Democratic voters. And where you have Secretary Clinton, on the other hand, basically in a gray area, not willing to take a position on fast track, saying that TPP at one point was a gold standard, but then not sure how she wants to handle it. All this gray area, and the fact that these voters are not necessarily trusting her, and the honest factor. I mean, she has a lot of these questions that need to be answered, and she only answered, what, 7 questions last week? That's surely not enough for Secretary Hillary Clinton to make her position strong.
Well, Bernie Sanders is all over the cables. Hillary Clinton isn't. Harold, what do you make of it?
Well, it's what I said before. I think she needs to start feeling uncomfortable. And while she may not like it, I think it's good for her candidacy. It sharpens her message. I think if they start feeling threatened in the polls, they'll get out there more. They'll say more. They'll appeal to Democratic voters more.
Well, if you want to, it just seems to me that if you want to be president, you got to be one of them.
That's right.
And I think Bernie Sanders is coming across, hey, I'm one of
That's
you.
right.
That's exactly right.
He's trying to come across being, I'm there for the working family. I'm not with the Wall Street ties or the wealthy like Secretary Clinton is. And quite frankly, Secretary Clinton's coming across way too scripted. I mean, if she could only loosen up, I think it really impacts her in a negative way, while you have Senator Sanders coming out and just being a straight shooter and basically sharing his positions.
Well, I would call on all of these organizations that are doing all of this polling to ask the same questions about the candidates. I'm asking for a favor from everybody out there who does the polling. We keep hearing about Hillary Clinton's negative numbers. Why don't they ask the public, what do your negative thoughts or your favorability rating on Bernie Sanders? When does he get that respect? I mean, he is going to be in Denver this weekend. They're expecting 5,000 people. He's got over 1,000 people signed up coming to see him in Las Vegas. I mean, you know, when does the word respect enter into the arena, Harold? Quickly.
Well, look, Bernie Sanders has got something to prove, and I think he's proving it. But I think Clinton's campaign has got to recognize that and act accordingly. And when she decides this is not a coronation, it's a real race, I think she'll respond appropriately.
All right. Harold Cook, Mercedes Schlapp. Great to have both of you with us tonight. Thanks so much.